because they're not very familiar. The TFRR number 78, excuse me, sorry, I had to close my door, stands for Tallulah Falls Railroad number 78. And while we're loading, I'm just going to give you a little bit of insight into the Tallulah Falls Railroad locomotive number 78. Now, Tallulah Falls, first off, a history of the Tallulah Falls Railroad itself. The Tallulah Falls Railroad was a railroad just outside, or not just outside, but just north of Gainesville, Georgia. And it ran from Cornelia, Georgia, from that area. This is a very special locomotive to me. So, that's what we're building today, which it's not going to be a very long video. The Tallulah Falls Railroad 78 is a very simple locomotive. It's a 280, and I'll show you what I mean by 280 when we get to building. Now, the Tallulah Falls Railroad number 78 was originally bought by the Tallulah Falls Railroad, and it was the only railroad that was ever run on was the Tallulah Falls, and it was scrapped in the 1960s along with the rest of the railroad. And so that was basically the history of the locomotive. It ran from around 1910 to the early 1950s, and that was when it left revenue service in general. But what I mean by a 280, if you're not a railroad person, every locomotive has a lead truck, drive wheels, and usually it has a trailing truck, but this locomotive isn't big enough for a trailing truck. So the Tallulah Falls Railroad was a 280. And I built the Tallulah Falls Railroad number 78 one time before, and don't remember the design that I used. So, it would help if I finished the railroad itself, wouldn't it? That would be nice. But anyway, oh my gosh. And I don't know how I did that. That's... Have you ever seen the Great Locomotive Chase? I'm having to waste time now because I screwed up. Should have done this before I started. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have a heart attack. Okay, I see what I did wrong. Anyway, so I just use pure wool for this since I don't put a fire or anything in my locomotive, but you can see, and the drive wheels are 2x2. Smaller wheels, like truck wheels, like these, are just one block. And then most of the tender is black on this locomotive, actually. Unlike most locomotives, the tender on the entire locomotive was black. Excuse me, the boiler on the entire locomotive is black. However, we are going to accentuate the end of the boiler with light gray. We're going to go against the historically accurate stuff, just out of pleasure of the eyes. So for this type of locomotive, we're going to stop here. No, excuse me, we stop here. And we'll go ahead and build up the boiler here. So that's what it looks like so far. Roughly resembles a locomotive. Very roughly, though. But now we want to do this. Oops. Getting good at this. It's this whole messing up thing. Anyway. We'll do this. This is what we want to do. This is it. Like this. Like this. See, it's starting to actually, uh-oh. Might as well just stop. Okay, maybe you can see. Anyway, because I would have really bad internet, so yeah, I can't guarantee that there's anything on the screen right now. This locomotive had a very simple design here. Oh, oops. Okay, we did that wrong. Again, that isn't historically really accurate. But that's the best cow catcher that I can do, or cow guard, or whatever you wish to call it. Still gonna make this smokestack black, though. Definitely. So next we're gonna go ahead and just put these drive rods on, and we're not gonna make. Goodness. Sorry, I get agitated. We're not gonna make these prototypical. They are going to be offset a little bit. That actually looks a lot bigger than the TF was. Wow. I didn't realize how chunky an engine I was making. We'll just go ahead and put these on. You can put these on in any random order. I usually don't even look historically what they actually look like. I really should, but then I use glass panes and I do this. I put carpet actually on top of that. Like that. So, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But, you do that, and then, I don't think we need oak wood right now. You get some string. Put the string across here, and boom, boom, boom. And then I'll just go ahead and do this as well. Like that. So now we have our engine. No, we don't. Now we have our engine. And it's time to move on to the tender. So, prototypical of most smaller steam locomotives, the Tooele Falls, the TFRR 78 had smaller wheels. It had 2 sets of 4 small wheels. Like I said, a very common design with these smaller locomotives. Yeah, that works. Okay, I was trying to remember if that was right or not. And then we're just going to do this. Just outline where we're going to put black wool. Sorry, sheep. No, No, but no sheep on the locomotive. So we're just going to outline that to start with. I'm going to go ahead and put the black wool down. So you're just going to put a layer of black wool down like this, and then we'll finish up in the morning. So you want it to be at least 2 tall, like this. It's a very late model wood burning locomotive. Really, its tender was just about that simple. So, you know, it's a very simple build, but it's a good build for my first build. I did not click there. There. Okay. Well, guys, that was the Tula Falls Railroad number 78 build here on my channel. So, if you guys want to see more of these, then leave a like down below. If you haven't already, subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.